Live right here on the early line on SportsGrid. We round out our 3 hours together on this Thursday. As we get you ready for everything in sports, we'll look at the odds one final time for the Four Nations Face-Off championship game between the Canadians and the Americans. Tonight it's the U.S. and Canada in Boston inside TD Garden. 9-game slate around the NBA. Plenty of action for you to enjoy as the All-Star break is through. The stretch run of this NBA regular season truly begins in full tonight. We also have got a couple of good Big Ten games on the docket in college basketball. Not a huge Thursday night slate around the country, but again, a couple of good ones in the Big Ten. Ohio State tries to stay in tournament position. Double-digit favorite at home, laying 10.5, I should say, against an injured Northwestern team that has been feisty. 142.5 is that total. Keep an eye on James Madison as things go in the Sun Belt. We've got some good ones in the Coastal Athletic Association. That would be known as the CAA. And a really intriguing team in the spring break destination of the Northeast in College Park. It's number 20, Maryland. Now, the Terps from a metric perspective are really, really stout. They are 17th in offensive efficiency. They are 21st in adjusted defensive efficiency, according to KenPom. Those are the exact metrics that you would want if you were to handpick a team, balanced on both sides, competitive on both sides, to be a team to make a deep run in the Big Dance, to be a factor in the NCAA Tournament. And right now, Kevin Willard's team is exactly that. 20 wins this season, 10-5 in the Big Ten. They have won 7 of their last 8. They play at a high tempo. They defend you very well in the half court. Again, a lot to love. They've got an outstanding, talented freshman big in Derek Queen. They've got a guy that hunts the glass and scores in Julian Reese. They've got one of the better guards that you probably haven't heard much about in Jacoby Gillespie in the Big Ten right now. In fact, they have a starting 5 that has scored nearly 85% of their total points this year. They are not known for their depth, but they are known for their starting unit. In fact, you heard of the Fab Five, of course, at Michigan. Maryland's starting to call this starting 5 with all that they are asked and delivered game in, game out, known as the Crab Five. Yeah, that's some catchy branding with shirts to round it out. You got guys like Rodney Rice and Celta Miguel in that starting 5 as well. They play a majority of the production for the Terps night in, night out. They do most of the scoring. Could depth be an issue in the NCAA tournament? We shall see. But so far, Maryland is looking really good and not out of that Big Ten title race. We'll talk about that in just a moment. The Terrapins at home tonight, 10.5-point favorite against USC. The Trojans in a little bit of a tailspin here as of late. Total at 153.5. Maryland on Sunday, laying double digits against an Iowa team that doesn't defend the ball all that well. It felt a little bit light, turned out to be. Maryland won that game by 26, scoring more than 100 points. 101-75, I believe, was that final score. Yes, indeed it was. Maryland covering that number. When we look at the Terrapins this year in terms of how they have performed, as we said, they have covered, or they have won 3 in a row. They have won 6 of their last 7 in Big Ten play. In terms of covering those numbers, they've covered in 2 straight, including an outright win as a slight underdog in Lincoln against the Cornhuskers. They pushed in their other 3rd win. They have gone over in 3 in a row as well. Big game for Maryland early next week against Michigan State as you see those odds for the Terrapins on your screen. We'll get back to those in just a moment. USC as an underdog as of late, 5 games. They are 3-2, against the number with 2 outright victories. Double-digit spread tonight in College Park. So let's talk about the Terrapins again as a team that can make some noise in the NCAA tournament. 17th offensive efficiency, 21st defensive efficiency. The metrics that you would like to make a deep run in March. To win the Big Ten, again, they are not out of it. A 10-5 record at 9-1. The slight minus money favorites, Michigan, they take on Michigan State tomorrow. The Terps get the Spartans at home following that huge rivalry game. but a 10-1 price to win the Final Four and 50-1 to win the national championship. Could this Terrapins team make that run through the madness to provide some value in those numbers? I would say yes.